from Missouri for his 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congressman Brady, thank you for your efforts on this Sound Dollar Act. I really like some of the things that you have in there. And I'm just kind of curious, do you believe that we need the Federal Reserve as a lender of last resort? Do we need a lender like that, some entity that can be the entity that puts the finger in the dike when something starts to happen?
The answer is yes, and it is your question in some regards addresses Ms. Maloney's question, which is under a single mandate focused on the purchasing power of the dollar, could the Fed intervene in times of emergency? The answer is absolutely yes. They would still be the lender of last resort, still provide liquidity to those banks, frankly, just have a liquidity problem but are solvent. And of course, they have the ability to increase or decrease the interest rates to tighten or loosen the money supply. So they would still be, under a single mandate, have the ability to intervene in very unusual and exigent situations. What they would not be allowed to do is to continue to intervene far beyond that financial crisis, which again is contributing to the uncertainty today.
It would seem that looking at the last 20, 30 years, that their ability to impact our economy is greatly exaggerated on both ends. It would seem to me that they can nibble around the edges on these things, but if they actually had the ability to control unemployment, we wouldn't have the situation we have today. If they control inflation, I don't think that we would have had some of the situation we've had over the last several years. As long as you have an economy that's rolling along, very stable, it seems like they can tweak it around the edges, but it doesn't appear that they can do much more than that. So I really like your approach here. One of the questions that I had with regards to the section or Title IV of your bill with regards to exchange rate responsibility. Can you explain just a little bit about that section and why you put it in here and what you want to try and accomplish with that?
Well, is this dealing with the special drawing rights and ending that slush fund?
Yeah, exchange rate policy, renaming exchange to the Exchange Stabilization Fund.
You know, we have, unfortunately, over time, created, in effect, a slush fund within the Federal Reserve, both from historical, about $100 billion in there, half of that from historical dollars there, and the other half more recent. And unfortunately, Mr. Luetkemeyer, what has happened is both Republican and Democrat administrations related to the Fed have used that, in effect, to circumvent the power of Congress. The Clinton administration used those dollars to provide a bailout to Mexico after Congress rejected it. The current Fed uses it to guarantee money market funds. Those may have been the appropriate efforts, but those decisions should have been made by Congress, not by the Federal Reserve. So under this bill, we end that as a slush fund. We apply the $50 billion to reduce the deficit. And we, in effect, return the Fed to what the Fed should do and retain for Congress our constitutional role to act in those matters of emergency.
So what you're trying to do is rein them in and go back to the established principles, our mission of what it originally should have been, and get it more in line with what most people think the Fed's mission should be.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Congressman Frank, just